Today we'll draw an elephant in the bush. I'll start by laying down a few tonal values in the bush area using a cloth dipped in graphite powder. I'm not trying to draw detail at this stage. I just want some graphite on the paper which I can use to create detail with later. I am, however, laying down more graphite in the darker areas in order to create depth. When the powder is at its darkest, I continue darkening with a 6B graphite stick. Now we can start to add detail by erasing the highlights on the bushes using a pen-shaped eraser and a squiggling motion. Although I squiggle everywhere, I concentrate on the outer edge of each bush and tree, as that'll give you maximum contrast. Once the basic foliage has been established, I continue to add more detail by alternating between the eraser and the pencils. Still using the squiggling motion though. In general, I'm just trying to suggest leaves and branches without adding much detail. Remember, the elephant is the focal point in this drawing, so if we add too much detail into the background, then it will steal attention away from the elephant. As I draw the leaves, branches and grasses, I'm looking for areas of contrast that I can play up, as well as the directions that I have to draw the leaves and branches in. The directions are important because they tell you in which direction the bush is growing in, and in the case of grasses, it can even create the illusion of wind in your drawing. Now that we have a large area of the background complete, I want you to notice how one tree ends light on the outside edge and the next one starts dark on the inside. These contrasts are what we use to create the illusion of distance between the trees and bushes. To start the elephant, I go back to using the graphite leaden cloth. I think you'll agree that there's an incredible amount of tonal value changes in the elephant. And it's all these humps, bumps and angle changes that make elephants a challenge to draw. And that's why I use my cloth to first lay in a few of the basic tonal values in the places where I see them. This allows me to quickly visualize the basic shapes of the animal. With a little imagination, you can actually visualize the elephant at this stage almost as though it's standing in the mist. Now we can start using pencil to add definition to these initial tonal values. At this point, I'm still not looking for details, only basic tonal value changes. I'm asking myself, what needs to go darker? Is this area a flat tonal value, or do I need to fade it lighter or darker towards the edge? Does this dark area end in a found line, or do I need to soften it, and so on. You can think of this stage as drawing a smooth elephant without the wrinkles. Can you see now how our imaginary mist is starting to lift? Now let's add some more sunshine into the scene to completely evaporate our imaginary mist. I go all the way to a 6B pencil for this stage, as I want to establish my darkest darks, so that we have a full range of tonal values in the elephant. And by doing that, you can see how much more depth and dimension is suddenly visible in the drawing. I can also start to suggest some of the details by erasing the wrinkles using a pen-shaped eraser, and drawing in the shadows between the wrinkles with the pencil. When adding these wrinkles, it's critical that you draw them in the correct direction and shape, as you see on the elephant and on your reference photo. If you don't do that, you're actually changing the contour of the animal, which will either make him look too round or too flat. I will now continue to alternate between the 6B pencil and the eraser as I draw the rest of the elephant. You can also see that I'm now working in a more methodical fashion, completing one feature before moving on to the next. I do the left leg, then the right leg, the left ear, then the forehead, and so on. As I draw, I want you to also notice how small the elephant's eyes are. A common mistake is to make them too big, so be very careful not to make this same mistake. Then also notice that there is a nice contrast between the area where the eye, tusk and ears meet. It's very important to get this contrast in, as it makes the face appear as though it's in front of the ears, lifting up the face above the body. For the forehead and trunk wrinkles, I add a broken contour line first. In other words, each wrinkle only wraps partly around the trunk. It doesn't form a ring around the whole trunk. I then break up these lines even further by adding little vertical lines across the horizontal ones. And I do this with a pencil, and I do this by erasing some lines as well. The tip of the trunk is very dark as the sun is from the back, so give yourself enough contrast there, but notice that the left and the right edges are light, indicating that the sun is coming from the back. I add a very basic shading to each tusk without trying to add any detail there. Then I complete the drawing by erasing a few overlapping grasses by the elephant's feet. So if you've enjoyed this tutorial, please like the video and comment below. Also, please subscribe so we can inform you of new videos. And if you'd like to follow the draw-along version of this video, you can head over to our website, onlineartlessons.com. We have over 500 draw and paint-along projects waiting for you there. I'll see you next time.